Welcome back to ReadingBear. Today, we will take a look at some new IDontWorkHereLady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, I'm Not a Rental Boyfriend for Hire. There was a girl in my high school that was gay and had parents that were very against the idea of being so. I basically agreed to be her beard for 2 years on high school because they often pressured her into getting one and asked if she was gay beforehand. We had kissed in pictures on an account she used that her siblings saw, and other people had found it and knew the story of why we did what we did. Fast track to about a week ago, I ran into someone else that knew me, but I didn't know them from HS at a party, and they said they wanted to seem successful with a boyfriend that was doing well and was okay looking. Dialogue is roughly as follows. Her, so could you come to a dinner for Christmas with me and seem super into me? Me, that's weird and I DK you that well. Her, well you did it for old friend and took the money, so why not me? Am I not pretty enough to fake date? Me, well I wasn't paid to do that, it was a favor. And I once again don't know you and don't want to spend my Christmas faking being intertwined into another family dynamic. Her, so I'm not pretty enough, or you assume I don't have enough money? At this point multiple of her friends are saying if I'm already a prostitute then why not do it unless I think she's too ugly or something. Me, I think this is a gross exaggeration of what it was. I'm not a gigolo and don't do anything like this for money. They start saying they will pull a fund together for this, and I assume this is some kind of drunk chick thing and walk away. I later am asked to leave for calling them ugly. I didn't, and am called in a hole by an assortment of women on the way out. Was there a better way to handle this, or are drunk people just looking for a reason to be mad? The next story is titled, I don't work here, but I am banning you from the store. I was in the Bullseye store with the red vests and shirts. I was picking up a few office supplies. I manage 3 restaurants and one of the office's suppliers ran low on staples and printing paper, and the supply truck won't be until the end of the month. I gathered the items I needed and headed to the check lanes. I heard a banshee-like shrill screaming, hey you. I look around and this lady has a person who really does work there cornered, and the poor girl looked to be on the verge of tears. SC, screaming customer real employee me, yours truly. SC, yes. You. Mr. Manager, come here and discipline your employee. She refuses to help me and was very rude and called me some very bad names. Now I have read enough of these I don't work here posts and always wondered why no does this. So I gave it a shot. Me to is this true? Were you rude to this lovely piece of humanity? Which made her kind of giggle. No, I just told her I am on my way home, I just finished my shift. If she needs help, she can ask someone else who would be more than happy, and clocked in. When I told her this she reached for me, I backed off. I don't like strangers touching me. And I never insulted her. SC, high-pitched shrill that would shatter crystal, liar. You called me all sorts of bad words. When I find my husband he will have you fired if you don't do something about it. Me, lady, I am the district manager. I will ask you to calm down. If you don't I am going to have to ask you to leave the store. SC, WHAT? Well I am just very upset, you stupid F-word, it's been most distressful. In all my years I have never been treated so horribly. Me, ma'am, I'm sorry but you aren't settling down. I am going to have to ask you excuse yourself from the premises or be escorted by security. Pull out my phone, speed dial, missed my messages. SC, but my husband. Me, go to customer service desk, page your husband and tell him you will be waiting outside for him while he does STHE shopping. Now leave this store immediately. I pretend to talk to security on the phone. Yes, we have an unruly customer who needs to be escorted from the store. SC throws what she has on the floor and leaves screaming, yelling, threatening to sue and shut the store down. I turn to and ask if she is okay. She tells me yeah. She didn't know I was in the store but glad I was. I hope I'm not in any trouble. I just worked a double shift. I just want to go home. I am extremely tired and hungry. Me, nah, you're not in trouble. I don't even work here. After a second or two it sinks in what I said and begins to laughing uncontrollably. I told her I manage the restaurant up the street and she is welcome to come in and have a free meal on my dime. As I leave for the restaurant I walk through the parking lot and see the screaming banshee customer sitting in a pickup truck on her cell phone. I could hear her muffled screams and crying and figure I better get the hell out of Dodge. Ree did come into the restaurant to thank me. I told her the offer for the free meal is still good. She took me up on it but tipped the server really well even though it was a free meal. We talked and laughed about the Banshee and she laughed even harder when I told her Ree about seeing her sitting in the truck. I told her this is definitely going on Reddit. Ree says she loves these posts and will be looking for it. So, hey Kate, if you're reading this, you are Reddit famous now, maybe someone will turn this into a YouTube video lol. The next story is titled, The Insecure Lady in a Dressing Room. A little background. This happened to me years ago, no drama but thinking about it makes me smile, so I thought you might too. Shopkeepers in this little store, doesn't have uniforms. Lady, L me, M shopkeeper, S. I'm browsing the shelves in this little store, when a lady in a dressing room next to me, pulls the curtains aside, spots me and asks, "Hi, does these pants look good on me?" M, take a spin and let me see. L spins. M, they fit you perfect. L, are you sure? M, absolutely. L gives me the biggest smile. L takes a dull purple knit blouse out from the dressing room. Will this look good with the pants? M, well, what will you use the outfit for? L, it's for my 60th birthday party. M, I didn't like the blouse at all, was having a blast interacting with the sweet lady and had time on my hands. M, what's you size? L gives me her size and I bring her this bright colored tunic with flowers, birds and gold, that I spotted earlier. L, oh, this is very bold. I'm not used to stand out. M, try it on, you might get surprised. L gets in the dressing room still talking to me about not being brave enough to shine this much. S enters the scene. L comes out with the tunic on. M, wow, this suits you so much. It would be perfect for your party. L gives me a little insecure smile. Looks in the mirror and her smile gets bigger. You're right, this actually suits me. S, your friend is right. This look is great for you. L looks at me very confused. You don't work here? M, no. L, but why would you help me? Me, you asked me nicely. The three of us share a good chuckle and I leave wishing the lady a happy birthday party. The next story is titled, Karen sees me feeding my newborn and still demands I help her because her time is too valuable. I went to Walmart today with my wife and newborn, looking for a bike for our daughter. To our surprise, the store was not very crowded, but it was still a bit busy, as you can all imagine, due to the holiday season. We arrived at the bike racks and my wife had the urge to go use the bathroom, so I stayed behind trying to determine which one was more fitting for my daughter. Suddenly the newborn wakes up crying and I start scrambling to prepare his bottle, as it was time to feed. As good of a father as I believe I am, I could not find a ducking thing in that diaper bag, so the chaos was becoming real very fast. Enter Karen. Equipped with high heels, sunglasses, a hat worthy of the Kentucky Derby and a dress straight out of a romantic scene from an 80s movie. Excuse me, help me get this bike down. Excuse me. I knew she could not be talking to me because I was clearly struggling to open a zipper on a bag while the deafening screams of my baby were driving everyone else away. Excuse me. Do you speak English? I took a peek over my shoulder and wouldn't you know it, Karen was staring directly at me. Are you gonna help me? I kept ignoring her and managed to get what I needed out of the bag while my son made his best attempt to break every glass in the store with his high-pitched screams. At that exact moment my wife showed up and somehow I managed not to curse this lady out. In fact, I politely replied, "Can you give me a moment, please?" I finished preparing the bottle while my wife held the baby, handed my wife the bottle to feed our son, and I turned and faced evil Karen. K, are you gonna help me? M, did you realize I was busy with a baby? K, I don't have all the time in the world to chit-chat. Are you helping me or not? M, which bike do you want? K, that one right up there. She pointed at the exact one I had eyeballed when I first arrived. So I calmly pulled the rack forward, took the bike down and started walking, bike in hand, towards my wife. K, you can just leave it right there. M, oh. I didn't get this down for you, I got this down for me, I'm buying this one. Learn some ducking manners, you old idiot. And take your ducking shades off, it's 7:30 at night. K, how dare you? My wife busted out laughing so hard that the baby started crying again, but this time I didn't mind the noise, as it was blocking Karen's mumbling and swearing as we walked away with our daughter's new bike. The next story is titled, Treat Me Like a Child. I'll treat you like a child. The town I lived in wasn't huge and at the time only had one gas station. I got a job there at the ripe old age of 15 and worked there for 2 years. By the end of my time there I was essentially number 3, with the manager and ass manager ahead, in charge. Eventually another gas station opened up across the road and I got a job there. There was pretty high turnover, so by the end of my tenure there everybody else including the managers were new. This story takes place about a year after I left them. One last thing to say, puberty is an idiot and didn't feel like making its way over to me forever, so from age 12 to 18 I looked like the same. Not exactly, but I looked really young until about 19, a little bit insecure about it. So, since I knew all the employees at the store, I would always get gas and grab a nice ice-cold chocolate milk from there rather than my store. When I got to the fridge with my milk I was dismayed to find that there was no more. But seeing as I spent the entirety of my working time at the same store, I knew that they kept the stock in the back of the walk-in fridge behind some boxes. This fridge was also where all the beer was, so when a customer, old idiot, noticed that I knew what I was doing, assumed I worked there. That seems fair considering she had probably seen me there on many occasions, and I usually have no problem helping people. Oh, if I had known that, how good a day this would turn out to be. Hey kid. Knowing that there wasn't anybody else in this tight-ass fridge, I turned around from fumbling about in the boxes. Yeah, you, go put this case of beer at the cash, holding out case of beer. Even if I did work there I wouldn't have done it, but I figured I'd gently remind them I am an actual person. Me, sorry, I don't work here anymore. Plus miss, that was really rude. I'm going to have to assume that I triggered something for her because she lost her crap screaming about how she had seen me here before and she knew I worked here. I tried to get a word in edgewise but was unable to, and with her between the door and myself I figured I might as well try and ignore her and find my chocolatey goodness. Look at me when I'm talking to you. You ungrateful child. Me, look, it seems like you're having a bad day, so I'm going to let all that slide and just remind you that I no longer work here. With a huff she turned around and walked out, but not before she threw out one last insult. Your mother must have been incompetent to have raised such a selfish boy. I had been having a good day up until that point because my usual self is a vindictive little crap who normally would have screamed right back at her. That changed when she insulted my mother. I found my drink and went to the registers. These machines were ancient and took about 15 minutes to boot up and glitches frequently. Karma strikes quick and without mercy, for when I got to the cash they were having some technical problem with it and the screen was frozen. Glitched karma. Knowing there was nobody in the store except for myself, the idiot, and my buddy who just started working there about 3 months prior, I was in no rush to help. When my friend finally got fed up with trying the usual debug procedure, he looked up and asked for my help. When working there I was the go-to person and I still frequently got calls from the management asking if I could pop by and fix something for them in exchange for some free candy. Win-win. I glanced over at the screen and immediately recognized the problem and knew that it was a simple fix. All he had to do was click 2 buttons at the same time. If you had thought that had gotten and quieter as this whole process was going on, you were wrong. She must have seen the recognition in my face when I saw it, because she started howling at me to fix it so she could get out of there. Seeing my chance for revenge I struck. Me, apologize. Stunned look, what did you say to me? Me, I would like you to apologize to me and I'll fix the problem. You little crap, fix it right now or I'll have you fired. Me, I'd like to remind you that I don't work here and I still expect an apology. I assume she was running late because after another 2 to 3 minutes of back and forth she finally relented. Grumble, I'm sorry. Now will you fix the machine? And normally I would have accepted it, but I still had another 30 minutes to get killed before I started work at the gas station across the road, so I figured I'd push it. Me, sorry for what? More incoherent yelling from this lady and my friend tries to stifle his laughter. Me, I didn't hear an apology in there. I'm sorry for being rude, even though you were being a brat. I stared at her, just thinking, she was so close, so close. She could have been free to enjoy her beer and free to annoy anybody else that crossed her path. But alas, it was not meant to be. Me, nah. I don't accept, have a nice day. She had a dumb look on her face before it turned to a scowl and she started screaming again. I swear I'm never coming back to this gas station ever again. The employees here are expletive. As she stormed out. Now most people would be content with that, I however was not. I quickly hit the buttons fixing the machine and ran out yelling a quick goodbye and telling him I'm pay for this tomorrow. See, she swore the one thing I knew she wouldn't be able to keep, she swore she was never coming back to that gas station. Which could only mean she had one place to go for her booze. Across the road, to the gas station I work at, the place where I'm the #1 employee and where the owner would back me up if he were there, and if he wasn't I was in charge. I ran over to my job and told the cashier to him to take a break, sit back, and enjoy the show. By the time I got there she had already rushed into the fridge to get her beer, and when she got out she was greeted by the sight of me grinning from ear to ear behind the register. Cut to 15 minutes of swearing later and she leaves again, sans beer. My coworker standing there slack-jawed wondering how I was able to stand that verbal tirade, and even more confused as to why I kept on laughing even more as she went on. That was a good day. The next story is titled, Can You Not Tug on That? You're awfully close to my penis. Oh, so I had a fun one the day after Christmas. Got lots of gift cards, so I went to a store that has an I for a logo because I wanted to try to get a pair of AirPods. Probably my fault for daring the after Christmas crowd. I keep my badge for work on a lanyard that I use a keychain loop to attach to my pants since I have a real habit of misplacing it. Anyway, I was looking for something sweet after not getting my AirPods since they were sold out, and this crabby old idiot came waddling down the cookie aisle. I at the time had my actually headphones in listening to Being Scared, awesome YouTube channel for fans of horror. She'll be Cobb for obvious reasons. Cobb snaps fingers, hey you. Me, internal screaming while pausing at a good part of the story, yes ma'am. Cobb, where is the pop? Oh, this is an obvious snowbird, FYI I live in Arizona, and when these types come down here for winter it's like a haven for IDWHL scenarios. Me, I think it's 2 aisles over but I'm not sure as I don't work here. Have a nice day though. As I unpause and start to walk away I feel my headphones get ripped from my ear, which caused my phone to fall out of my hoodie pocket with them. I stared at them for a few seconds deciding how to react. Cobb, serves you right you little brat. You young people never respect your elders, how dare you turn your back to me. Me, first of all I'm 35, second of all for the second time now, I don't work here so I'm not someone who is required to put up with any of your crap, and even if I did work here that's no way to treat people. If this is the kind of person you are I can only imagine what your kids are like. It's parents like you that raise entitled little a-holes, that's the real trouble with today's youth. Don't touch me again. She looked like a fish trying to inhale as much water as she could with how her mouth was hung agape. As I turn to walk away I feel a strong tug on my lanyard that is literally hanging down by my penis. Me, can you not touch that, you're really close to my penis. This gets the attention of a nearby manager. Manager, what's going on over here? Cobb, this employee of yours wouldn't help me and swore at me. Me, I'm sorry Miss Manager, but there's probably someone with a very large butterfly net looking for this woman who has just physically assaulted me twice and she also tried to sexually assault me once. Cobb, see. He's such a smart ass and I would do no such thing. Me, ma'am, you still haven't released your hold of my lanyard that again for the second time is right next to my special place, and there's cameras all over this section that just recorded you ripping my headphones out causing my phone to fall to the floor. Manager looks at her, looks at me and looks at my lanyard that she still hasn't released yet. Manager, ma'am, he doesn't work here, he's wearing another company's name on his lanyard and a t-shirt that says Bullet Club on it. How could you possibly think he works here? I can also clearly see you're holding him by a lanyard that is hanging down by his privates, can you let him go or do I call security? He'd also be well within his rights to physically defend himself at this point. Cobb, well I have never. Me, I'm sure that's not true. Can you let go now please? She finally lets go and is trespassed from the store. The manager apologized, I told her not to worry as it wasn't even close to her fault. I have still yet to find my AirPods, maybe after New Year's. The next story is titled, I work at GameStop, this is a McDonald's. So last holiday season when I still worked for good old GameStop, there was a McDonald's a block away that I decided to go to for my lunch break. We don't have a uniform per se, we just have to wear either a nice shirt or one that we sell and some nice pants with our name tag on. I'm standing in line after ordering my food, and this kid and his mum are standing a couple feet away from me, and I hear the following. Mum, it's okay, she works there, she'll be able to tell you. Kid, yeah mum, but she looks like she's on her break. Mum, oh it doesn't matter. Ask her, so we don't have to waste a trip. I kind of roll my eyes but turn to the kid when he walks over and ask him what's up. He then asks me if my store had some random, obscure PS3 game in stock. I kind of smiled, shrugged and said I had no idea, you'd have to call and ask or go up there and check. The mum gets really huffy when she hears that and is like, we don't want to waste all that time if you don't have it, so if you could just look it up on your phone that'd be great. At this point my food is ready, so I grab it and just shake my head at the lady. Sorry, but I'd have to be at a computer to do that. Listen, I have to go, I only have 10 minutes left of my break and I haven't eaten yet. Just call the store and they can check for you. I just kind of book it out of there and go back to the store and eat. A little bit later the pair comes into the store and the lady tries to report me to my manager for refusing to help her at McDonald's. My manager just laughs at her and says I wasn't on the clock or even in the store, so she can't help her. We didn't have the game, by the way. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.